Hello guys, welcome back to my MMA channel. Today I'm doing a video about One Championship. Now, if you don't know, my full-time job is covering One Championship, so it's quite silly that I've not done a video about them as of yet. And there's one specific reason why now. If you're watching this video on the day it comes out, One Championship have got an event tonight, One Fight Night 7 on Prime Video. If you're in the UK, you can watch it on YouTube. They stream it live, or Prime Video if you're in the US. So why now of all times? Because One have had a really good start to the year. I think One Fight Night 6 was a really good event to kick off their year. That performance by Chingiz Alazov knocking out Superbon in the main event was incredible. Really great contests from the likes of Mikey Musumeci, Stamp Fairtex, Rodtang Jitmanon. So many fun fights on that card, and I would be doing the promotion disservice if I didn't mention One Friday Fight, which is their series every single week from the Lumpinee Stadium, which is mostly Muay Thai cards. There's sometimes a few MMA fights thrown in, but Muay Thai is really the star of the show there. And it's produced already some incredible Fight of the Year contenders, some incredible knockouts. So they're always worth tuning into as well. If you're in the UK, they tend to take place around lunchtime-ish. Kind of how One Championship always used to do their events, whereas the Prime Video stuff is on at the US time zone, so your standard UFC kind of 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. kind of timing. But One Fight Night 7 is one that I'm really excited for one specific reason, and that is a fight that I think is one of the best fights One Championship has put up for quite a long time, even though it's a rematch. But I think this one is more exciting than perhaps even the initial fight between these two guys. I'm of course talking about the main event for the vacant Bantamweight World Championship between Fabricio Andrade and John Lineker. So if you don't know, these two Brazilians have met before at One on Prime Video 3. That fight ended in a no contest. So let's talk a little bit about this fight in case you haven't seen it. The fight itself was great, I thought, but a lot of things went wrong. John Lineker missed weight before the fight and was stripped of his title, meaning that he wasn't able to win it back. It was only Fabricio competing for the World Championship. And after putting in an incredible performance, Fabricio Andrade that is, he kneed John Lineker to the groin, caused an end to the fight because John Lineker couldn't continue. And at first, people kind of thought, well, John Lineker was losing the fight, so maybe he's looking for a way out. Fabricio Andrade's knee that he hit him with, Fabricio Andrade's knees to the body are incredible. This one just landed low. He hit him with so much power that it broke his protective cup, which I've never seen in MMA before. John Lineker is as tough as they come. So let me start by talking a little bit about John Lineker, because I'm sure to people who don't watch One, you will still remember him from his career in the UFC, which lasted a long time. I think he's had like 35 professional fights now, or something like that. So very experienced, former bantamweight champion, of course, in One. He was on an incredible run since signing with them. That knockout over Bibiano Fernandez still kind of makes me go a little bit, it's not fun to watch, but a career highlight for John Lineker. Of course, his nickname is Hands of Stone. That's all you need to know about him. He hits super hard. He's got one of the most exciting fighting styles in MMA, period, I believe. He just puts himself in harm's way. He will relentlessly walk down his opponents and try and land his huge power hooks. But that didn't happen for him in the first fight with Fabricio Andrade. I don't think I've ever seen anyone deal with John Lineker as well as Andrade did, at least in terms of striking, because I could point to performances in the UFC like when TJ Dillashaw completely nullified John Lineker by taking him down, but no one's done that to Lineker in One Championship. Andrade managed to stand with him, which is a scary prospect on its own, but Fabricio Andrade's Muay Thai is so good. If you're unfamiliar with Fabricio Wonderboy Andrade, I think that he might be one of the best bantamweights on the planet. Obviously, One Championship, their weight classes are a little bit different. So I'm talking bantamweight in terms of One Championship, but his striking is just another level. It's so precise, so accurate, so fast. And that's what made him so dangerous against John Lineker, and he was definitely on his way to winning that fight. That body knee that he landed, Lineker started to reel away from, and then came the illegal knee that was unintentional, so it was a no contest result. But you've got to think he'd have a huge advantage psychologically coming into this fight. He knows he can hurt Lineker. He was far better on the night than John Lineker. So I think this is a huge fight for John Lineker. You know, after kind of tearing through the one bantamweight division, he's now found himself up against a guy that can really test the fact that John Lineker is the best bantamweight in the division. Because I think a lot of people, after that first fight, I mean, Andrade himself was calling himself the uncrowned champion of the division, and I think a lot of people agree with him. So this is a huge test for John Lineker, and I think there's a real concern that he could be turned into a highlight reel for Fabricio Andrade, who I think if he wins this fight, Andrade will go on to do incredible things in one championship. But it also can't be forgotten that even though his performance wasn't that great against Fabricio, John Lineker was on a tear in one championship, and he looked so devastating every time he stepped in there. So I'm so excited for this fight. I think it's one of the best fights one championship have made in quite a while. Obviously, you know, it was a no-brainer. The first fight ended in no contest. Of course, they're going to run it back. But the skill level of both these guys, the potential of Fabricio Andrade is massive, I think. And obviously, John Lineker has been there, done it against a lot of the best fighters in his weight class on the planet. If that hasn't sold you on this card that is taking place, well, the great thing about one championship is there's multiple martial arts happening on the same night. So the co-main event is a Muay Thai fight. I can't stress this enough that if you haven't been watching one championship, and specifically the Muay Thai that they put on, you are doing yourself a disservice. It is some of the best martial arts action you will get out there. And the co-main event features Tawanchai defending his featherweight. I'm just double checking my notes. I think I'm right in saying that. Yes, featherweight Muay Thai World Championship. He won that last year. He won 3 fights with incredible performances to win One Championship's 2022 Muay Thai Fighter of the Year. And now he's going back to Thailand in front of his home crowd to face the number 2 ranked contender, Jamal Yusupov, who has also put together a 3-fight win streak and has looked very, very good. So this is a very tough test for Tawanchai. I'm sure the fight itself will be fantastic. Again, to switch up to another martial art, you've got Danielle Kelly competing on this card in a submission grappling contest against MMA fighter and former title challenger in one, Ayaka Miura. Danielle Kelly is a very exciting submission grappler to watch. I definitely think that if she wins here, they will put a vacant title on the line in her next contest. But Ayaka Miura, whilst this will be her first kind of